guys, welcome to KennaDee Kay. Well, if you've seen the title of this video, basically I had my baby. I had our sweet little baby girl, and I wanted to just jump on here and show you guys and tell you guys kind of my experience with baby number 2. So if you haven't seen last week's video, we told you guys her name, and her name is Annie, little Annie.
But you're missing a letter.
No, put the N by the N.
Annie.
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 I told you.
So surreal. It's been about 2 weeks where I feel like I am ready to get back into filming and everything else, but it's been 2 weeks where we've just been able to enjoy our sweet little Annie and our little family, and it has just been so sweet and such a special time for me as mom of 2. And I'm gonna go in a little more depth of like what happened and like different things with my birth story, and then having Ace and Annie meet, and just kind of how it's been going on for these last 2 weeks. If you hear little grunts or like little noises, she's right here. So let's kind of start off at the very beginning. So obviously you guys know I was pregnant, and we ended up having to be induced, which is totally fine. I wanted to be induced. I was induced with Ace, and I had like the best experience. So we decided to get induced with Annie, and so we went in at nighttime, and it worked out well because, and kind of crazy is, my mom was supposed to come to watch Ace, and then what happened is some of my siblings got sick and got a cold. And with a newborn, if you don't know, when you have a newborn, you don't want any of your, like, you just don't want to be around colds. You don't want to. RSV is so scary. Annie's being born right in RSV season. So I was nervous that my mom was going to get sick. And literally 2 days before my mom was supposed to come, she called me. She was crying. She was so sad. She's like, Ken, I'm sick. I have a cold, and so I can't come watch Ace and with everything. So I was like, that's okay. Like, luckily, Chase's mom was able to come and watch Ace while we went into the hospital. But my poor mom was so sad because she wanted to be there for Annie's birth and everything else. But it all worked out in the end because my mom was able to come a few days later and help me. And we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that in a second. But so that was like the very beginning. So it ended up being like a little bit crazy because we were like trying to figure out what we wanted to do. But luckily, Chase's mom was able to come and stay with us and watch Ace. So when Chase and I went to the hospital that night, my mother-in-law and Ace came with us to the hospital, and we said goodbye to Ace there. And it was kind of fun because we had like cute little videos of Chase and I holding hands with little Acers going into the hospital. And little did we, like, kept trying to tell him, like, baby sister's coming. He didn't really know what baby sister was or like who she was. So we were like trying to prepare him, but again, it's a little bit tricky to tell a 20-month-old that you have a sister when you don't really know what a sister is. So we ended up saying goodbye to little Acers, and then we went into the hospital and we started our process of being induced. And so the process of being induced, we first we stayed that night, and we just did like a soft kind of like induced where they basically gave me some medication that is like really light on hormones to see if I could start kind of doing everything, but it was like super light. It wasn't like straight up Pitocin, which Pitocin like makes you go into labor pretty quickly. And basically I took that medication, and Chase and I just fell asleep. And so we had our hormone. When I woke up, I was dilated to 0 still, and I wasn't effaced at all. So we ended up deciding to do the pill that I used with Ace from the very beginning, and that worked really great. I feel like I started feeling a little more contractions. My cervix got super soft quickly. I feel like it happened within like an hour or 2 where I was able to be fully faced, and I was dilated to like, I think 1.5 or 2. And so they were like, okay, let's start. Now that you're fully effaced, we can start you on Pitocin. I think I started at a 2 with Pitocin. And so I had Pitocin for about an hour to 30 minutes. And I think at 30 minutes, I called to get my epidural because I knew that they were going to be backed up at a point. And I always hear like horror stories of like, you call an epidural too late and then you don't get it, and then you're in pain while you give labor. And I'm a girly that just loves not being in pain. And so I really wanted my epidural. So I called at 30 minutes, and then they took about an hour to get my epidural. Shout out to all of the women that don't do epidurals and the women that do epidurals, because I just feel like all birth is just crazy. So back to it. I got my epidural. about an hour and a half. And that's when I started like having contractions like a little more intense. Like it wasn't painful at all, but I could just definitely feel my stomach was tightening and like my body was starting to get a little more tired. So once I got my epidural and my Pitocin was going and everything, I was like super excited and ready to have this baby. Around that, right before that actually, Ace came to visit us and that was like the cutest little experience. Here's a little picture. He came and sat on my bed and we were just like talking to him. He had just gone and played at the playground and he was having so much fun with Chase's mom, which I was so grateful for. But it was like kind of like our last little moment with our little Acers before we had Annie too, which was kind of crazy. And so Ace came and visited us for that. And then once I got my epidural and everything, I decided I wanted to take just a nap and be able to like rest because my body is going to be going through a lot of crazy stuff and I won't be getting a lot of rest postpartum once you have your baby. So I took my nap and then I woke up and dilated to like a 3 at that time. And I was like kind of frustrated. I was like, why is this taking so long? It wasn't like crazy long. I think by the time I got my Pitocin at like 3 o'clock and I took my nap, which is like an hour, 2 hours. And that's when I was dilated to a 3. And then finally when I hit a 4, which I think it took about 5 or 6 hours, once I hit my 4, it escalated and went very quickly. That once I hit a 4, I feel like I was able to go to a 4 to a 10 within like the hour. And then right after that, once I hit a 10, I don't know, I guess my body pushes like pretty quickly. And so the nurse came in and she's like, oh wow, like you from a 4 to a 10 like pretty quickly. Let's just do some practice pushing. And so we did one practice push and she like watched and she's like, oh, like we're getting ready for the doctor. I'm gonna call the doctor because like baby girl's coming. So the doctor came and I pushed like I think 3 more times maybe, and Annie was there and it was like so fun, so magical. I will say there was like a few things that I was like nervous or stressed about throughout this pregnancy, and it was amazing to see like how much I feel like I never really talk about this very often on social media, or I don't get to as much, but I really had felt throughout this entire pregnancy like God was with me, and it was such a neat experience. Like I feel like this pregnancy I have been like more refined and more like closer to God than I've ever been. And through that birth, or through the birth of Annie, it was such a neat experience, and I just felt so close to my Heavenly Father because there was some things that I was nervous about and things I was nervous to become a mom to too. And it's such a special moment when you bring your baby into this world. And when Annie came, it was I just felt so much at peace and felt like everything was going to be okay and good, and that Heavenly Father has my back throughout this entire process of having another baby and being a mother to not only our Acers, which I want to make sure I'm the best mom for him, but also for our sweet little Annie girl. And again, it was just such a beautiful moment to share with my husband as we were holding hands and welcoming our sweet baby girl into this world. And I'm just very, very grateful that she's healthy and that she is just such a sweet and perfect little girl. Like I have come to realize that like there's so many things that have to happen to bring a baby into this world, and I am like humbled to have not 1 but 2 sweet little babies, and also to be their mom and be able to raise them in they're just like such sweet spirits, and I'm very, very grateful to welcome our little Annie into this world. And so Annie came and I was able to put her on my chest, and that was such a magical moment, and just like love her and get to know her better. And after that we were able to go get all cleaned up, and I was able to rest and just have like snuggle our sweet little baby. It was such a magical night, and I will just never forget being able to bring Annie into this world, and also I'll never forget bringing Ace into this world. I think these are such special moments, and I'm very grateful and humbled to be able to have these sweet babies. So the next day I like could not wait for Ace to meet Annie. Like I was just so excited, and I wanted our little Kobe bear to meet. So that morning after we had Annie, the next day, because I had her like in the evening, the next day I like was so excited. We got Annie in like the cutest little outfit. It says little Annie on it, and I had Ace have a sweater that said Ace on it, and I had him wear it. And so Ace and Annie, when they met, they had their names on, they had their little sweater names, their name sweaters. There you go. They had their little name sweaters, and Ace came in, and I followed some of your guys' advice where I put Annie in the bassinet next to me, and then I had also Chase meet Annie at like in the hallway, and so it was less like he's coming into our family kind of thing, like that he's being replaced, where it's more like, oh, we have another baby, like here's a surprise. So I like was sitting on the bed, and I had a little gift for him that was a little he loves Toy Story, toys. So we had a little Forky sitting on the bed. And so he walked in with daddy and he was like so excited. He's like, Mommy. And so he came and sat on the bed. We opened the present and then I was like, this is Annie. And we like introduced them and he was like kind of confused, kind of excited. It was like so sweet. He was just kind of like, oh, baby. Then after that, we sat Ace down and we're like, do you want to hold her? And so he like held her and it was just such a cute little tender mercy of like having these two little babies, like our two little babies that we created sitting together. And that was really neat. And Ace did really good. Like I feel like you see kids that are like crying or like sad. I feel like I see sometimes where kids are like sad that they have another baby brother or sister, but Ace was just really happy and excited. And I didn't know if he like fully understood that like she's coming home with us, but he was like, oh, okay. And he like has a baby. And then after like a few seconds, he like wanted to be crazy and he's like, I'm done. And wanted to go run around at the hospital. But we had a cute little memory and we got like a bunch of cute little pictures of them together. And yeah, so that was our little moment. And then I think they kept us, when Ace came, I think they kept us one more day and then we like went home together, all together. And it was like such a special moment being all together in the car. It's so cute. Like having my two little car seats, my husband, me, and we were just excited to go see our Kobe bear. I will say this time around, postpartum was a lot easier for me. I didn't feel nearly as much in pain as I did with Ace. So that was really nice, especially because I have now a toddler and also a newborn. So I was really grateful for that. So we stayed in the hospital for a little bit. We went home and we were able just to kind of relax and show Annie the house and basically have Kobe bear go to the house and everything else. And it worked out that it had already been a week at that time. It worked out where my mom was able to no longer be sick and doctor said that she was okay to come to help me with Annie. So my mom came the same day that we came home and that worked out honestly so great because I feel like I needed my mom for more postpartum stuff. I rather, if she had to like pick between the two, I'd rather her be there when I'm at the house needing more help postpartum wise than at the hospital. So I was really grateful that my mom was able to come and help me that way. And also at that time, Chase is in medical school, my husband. And so he had to go back to school like pretty quickly. Because you don't really get days off. So he was able to not have to go to school for the days that we were being induced and that we were at the hospital. But after day 3, he had to go back to school. So it was nice that my mom was there because she was able to help me kind of get everything. And my biggest goal for my mom, like with my mom there, is that I wanted to just make sure my house was like all set up and ready for Annie, because I feel like you can prepare as much as you can for before you have the baby, but when you get home, there's a lot of things that you need. You realize like that you have to move around. And so my mom was able to help me with all of that and make sure that I felt ready and prepared. And then I also really wanted to like nail down my schedule and figure out exactly what I need to make sure that I'm successful for when I am alone with my two babies, because my husband's amazing, but there's a lot of times where he has to leave for medical school and to work at the hospital and everything else. So I just wanted to make sure I was well prepared to be able to watch these two babies and not feel like I am like super overwhelmed and crazy. And so my mom was such an angel and helped me a ton. It was so nice to like just feel ready and like excited to be able to like just get into our normal daily schedule again. And I was so grateful that I was feeling really good. Like I was able to rest a lot, but also like I was excited to like get up and kind of slowly move around and everything else. And so I felt like that was a big blessing where I was still able to like watch my crazy toddler and also not feel like super tired and just dead postpartum. And I feel like throughout this entire 2 weeks, I still have felt that way where I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm like not super exhausted, which I feel like with Ace, I was like so tired all the time, especially when you have to wake up every 2 hours to feed your baby. But this go around, I'm not like super tired. I don't know why. And maybe it will change in the next like week or two. But like obviously I'm a little tired just because you're not running on a ton of sleep. But overall, I feel like I have enough energy throughout the day, and Ace and I are still able to do all of our fun little mommy things, and Annie's such a sweet little angel, and it's just been going like really well, which I'm just very grateful for. We just decorated for Christmas, so prepare for that video coming up. I'm so excited to like have our Christmas with our entire little family and just make all the cute little memories of our family of 5 now. And overall, it's just been going really good, and I feel like so blessed and so humbled to be these sweet little little spirits mom, and everything has just been going really good. Granted, we haven't left the house a ton yet just because it is RSV season and I don't want to get Annie sick, but we did go on a walk today and that was really fun. And I just had my little double stroller and going around and it was great. But we're doing good, and that's kind of a little update for you of like my birth story and how we're doing. And again, I'll keep you guys updated. Wish me luck. So if you guys have any tips or tricks for having 2 under 2, let your girl know. I feel like we're doing really good, but I'm always down for some more advice on things. So anyway, that is our little Annie. We're so grateful for our little Annie to just happy, and things are good. Very grateful, and very grateful to our family and all the support we've gotten. I feel like my husband's just been such a rock, and I'm very grateful for him, and I'm just grateful for my little babies. And yeah, I'm happy, and again, just humbled and grateful. I love you all. I'll see you guys later. Bye.